Okay. All right, well then, let's begin. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone out there. I'm Angela Fobbs, the Global Black Caucus Chair, and I'm here with DA Discusses with Heidi Burch, our Global GOTV
Co-chair.
Yes, she's the best, one of the hardest working people in Democrats Abroad, and one of the most important. How are you today, Heidi?
I'm good. I appreciate the introduction.
Yes, at least for me, you are one of the key people because getting out the vote is not a simple task, is it? There's a lot
It's
to do.
not, although a lot of the problem is just misinformation, it's not difficult, it's not hard. But the misconceptions people bring are really interesting. But we try to make it as simple as possible. We try to push everyone to the votefromabroad.org platform, which walks you through. It's a one-page form. You just send it in, hopefully in January, but once a year, and that covers you. You will get your ballot. And once you're registered, most every state except Alabama will let you send in the form by email. It's very quick and easy. If you aren't registered to vote, there's about 7 states that make you mail it in. But other than that, it's an email, one-page form. It's very simple.
Wow, and we've already got quite a few people out there watching. That was pretty quick because they know that you've got the most important information. This year, getting out the vote and everybody getting their ballots and returning their ballots is going to be a little bit more complicated, depending on the country you live in. And of course, our own country is a little bit screwy this year. What do we need to do? What do we need to do to make it simpler on ourselves?
Well, there's basically 2 kinds of states. Some states will allow you to return your ballot electronically, either by email attachment or fax or online upload. About half of the states will let overseas voters do that. If you vote in one of those states, send it in by email, fax, or online upload as soon as you can. And ballots will come out on September 19th. When you get it, fill it in, return it ASAP, because this is not the year to wait until the last minute. And if there's any problems, you want to know about it so you can fix it. We also just want to know it got in and got counted. Now, if you're in the about 20 states that require you to return your ballot by mail only, that is a huge issue this year with the COVID disruptions and what Trump and the Republicans are doing to US Postal Service. So for the first time, really this year, we are recommending to people who vote in those mail-only return states to send in a FWAB now. The FWAB is the federal write-in absentee ballot. So Frank Whiskey Alpha Tango or Bravo.
Okay.
I'm not a personality, you can tell.
Frank Whiskey Alpha Tango. Oh no, Alpha Papa.
Bravo. It's a B for
Bravo.
Bravo.
Okay, Bravo. Okay. FWAB, FWAB. Don't let us get you confused with all our weird initials. It's very important. And how do people get that? What do you have to do to get it?
So what it is, it's specifically for overseas voters. It's in the federal statutes. And it says that if you are concerned that you will not be able to get your overseas ballot back to the US in time to meet the deadlines, you can fill in this write-in ballot and send it in. In order to use it, the best thing to do is to go to votefromabroad.org/FWAB, and we're putting a banner on the landing page so you can get to it directly. And that gives you the instructions how to do it. The first thing you need to do is make sure you've sent in your form to request your ballot this year, because you have to be on the rolls as an overseas voter. If you haven't done it or you're not sure, just send it in. It's a one-page form. You can email it in. Then there's a, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I put the link to the FWAB in the Facebook Live event so that you can just go right to it. Just click it and go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And that gives you the instructions. So step one is make sure you've sent in your form to request your overseas ballot, otherwise known as the Federal Postcard Application, FPCA. There's a lot of F's involved. And then there's a link to the website to fill out the FWAB. The website is the Federal Voter Assistance Program. That's V as in Victor, AP.gov. That's a federal government website for military and overseas voters. And we give you the direct link, and it will walk you through filling out the FWAB. You give it your contact information, your voting address, your current address, and then there's the ballot form to fill out. And you fill out your vote, and then you follow the instructions to print it out and mail it into your state. And that will preserve your vote.
I have a question from Facebook. It's from Anna Cecilia, and she says, my daughter is going to scan the form and send it to me to sign and scan it and send it back to her so she can mail it in the States. I live in Costa Rica. Is that okay?
Actually, you should mail it from outside the United States. A scan and a printout they may not accept because they want to see your original signature. You sign the voter information page. You don't sign the ballot. The ballot is your vote and is supposed to be secret. So don't put your name on the ballot itself. There's a voter information page that you sign and date. You should mail it from Costa Rica. If you have questions about mailing from Costa Rica, and I know there's problems, the local Democrats Abroad chapter will help you find out what the mailing options are. You might be able to, the embassy is taking them for the diplomatic pouch, for example, just like regular ballots. You can use the diplomatic pouch and mail it for free. But it should come from outside the US, and it should be the original.
Okay, so she should probably send her FWAB and then her FWAB now, and then as soon as she gets her ballot, turn that right back around and send it also. Is that correct?
Well, when ballots come out in September 19th, it's up to you whether you want to send that in as well. It's actually fine. It's in the statute that if you send in a FWAB, you can still send in your official ballot if you get it in time. If both of them arrive in time, they will discard the FWAB and just count the official ballot. It's a backup. It's there just in case. So it's not voting twice, which a lot of people are very concerned about. It's understood. It's in the federal statute that a FWAB is a backup. If both arrive in time, they'll just discard it.
Okay. There's another question about what states are you concentrating on for this that are just these mail-in only states?
There's about 20 of them, and it's actually on votefromabroad.org. There, you can click on the state voting guide, and it will go to a page for your state and tell you how you need to return your ballot for your state. Off the top of my head, I can tell you it's Arkansas, Connecticut, Georgia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm trying to think else. Wyoming.
Well, you know what? I have this. Wait, I'll just post this meme on in the page really quickly. Hopefully, people can see it. If it won't let me. No, it will not let me add it will not let me add any graphics, but they are on the Democrats Abroad page. And there's actually, wasn't there 4 states that just now have decided to take email? I think
two of them. Iowa and Missouri are now allowing all overseas voters to return their ballots by electronic means. Previously, only military voters in hostile fire zones could do that. And as a COVID measure, they've expanded it to all overseas voters in those two
Oh.
states.
Okay, good, good.
And we're working on
Yeah,
a couple more. We're hoping we can get a couple more to expand as well.
I hope you can get Pennsylvania. I
They're a
mean,
tough one.
yeah,
They're
I
tough.
know. Yeah, but I know a lot of these, we just have to work through it and make a plan for how you're going to get your ballot back. It's really important. And I was telling Heidi this story before we started, and I want to just share it with everybody. So I vote in Florida. And I don't know if this is the only year or just I didn't realize that I could send my ballot back by fax, but I have
Every year.
every year. Okay. Well, I never did that. I always just voted, put it in an envelope, took it to the post office, no big deal. But this year, okay, everything's a little bit screwy. So I thought, all right, I can send my ballot. I've seen this meme on Facebook. I can send my ballot back on fax. So I find the fax number and I vote my ballot. That took me a little bit of time because it was the primary was on the 18th, and it was a lot of judges and other positions that you just couldn't just look for the D. You had to actually figure out which judge was the good judge to have. So I did all that, printed out my fax cover sheet, because that's what you got to do when you have a fax. You got to put a cover sheet on it so people know what it's for. And I haven't used, my printer is an HP printer and it has a fax built into it, but I haven't used it in at least 7 years. The last time I faxed something, it was to another government office, and I don't even remember what it was I faxed. I just remember having to do it. So I've got my printer, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to fax, except I need to connect my fax to my telephone system. So I'm looking for the phone cable, because I mean, we don't even really use our house phone anymore. It comes with our internet, so we've got a phone. So I'm looking for the cable, I'm hunting it out. I find it laying in this other room, because I actually had to move my printer from one room to another. So it was kind of lying around the floor. And I'm pulling the cable up. There it is. I've got the cable, and I pull it, and the actual connector on one side is missing. So I could not send a fax. I had to actually go to the store and buy another cable so I could connect my printer / fax / scanner to the telephone system. And luckily it was daytime here, so I could still go to the store and do it. So I had a plan. I knew what I was going to do, but I just didn't think out my whole plan. Long story short, I did get my ballot sent for the state primary election. But if you're planning on using a fax, or you're planning on scanning and emailing back, just be sure to test out that all this stuff works now. Test it now, so that on October 31st, or when you finally filled out your ballot, because you can email or fax it back, and you can wait to the last minute. Please don't wait to the last minute. That you can have it. You know that everything is going to work. There are some apps that you can use on your phone if you don't have a scanner on your printer or a separate scanner. There's some apps you can use. What was that app that you mentioned, Heidi?
Well, you can just do a search on your phone. There are apps that will convert an email attachment to a fax for you and send it in. And just you can search for a fax app for iPhone or for Android, and a bunch will come up. And you just follow the instructions. The thing to remember, particularly with fax, is do not wait till the last minute, because it's not that you send it in, they have to receive it. And
Right.
if they're backed up, if they're out of paper, whatever, you could miss a deadline. So please send it in. The official ballots come out September 19th. If you're going to email or fax or do an online upload, do it September 20th. Don't wait. Just get it done.
That's true. That is the thing about a fax. It is a point-to-point connection. And so if I'm sending a fax and you're sending a fax, the first one that connects is the one that sends the fax, and then you have to wait. So if you have hundreds of people trying to fax in a ballot, it could take hours. for you to get your fax to go through. So just make sure that you're early. And we have a few questions on Facebook. People are really questions. So a lot of people would like to know, what is the deadline to register?
It depends on your state. The earliest deadlines to register to vote for the November election are 30 days out. October 4th could be the earliest deadline. But don't wait, do it now, send in the form now. The latest deadlines are, the election day. Some states will let you do it on election day. Again, don't recommend you do that. Go to votefromabroad.org and fill out the form. It's a one-page form, and it will request your ballot for you for the full calendar year. And if you're not yet registered to vote, it will also register you to vote. So you don't have to do separate forms. It's just the one form covers overseas voters for everything.
Okay, we have another question, and I think I know the answer to this question. Susan Harrell wants to know, should we ask the ballot by email or mail? That's what they are asking on the Vote from Abroad website. Should we get our ballots by email or regular postal mail? What is the answer?
Definitely get it by email. You cannot trust postal mail this year. Ballots are sent out 45 days ahead of the election, which is September 19th this year. But if you get it mailed to you and then you have to return it by mail, you're not going to have enough time this year. Mail is so disrupted, and who knows what it's going to look like in a month as well. So we're strongly recommend every year, and particularly this year, get your ballot sent to you by email. If you've moved, if you're traveling, whatever, it'll get to you. You don't have to worry. You just log onto your email, check your spam folder, check your secondary inboxes. Ballots do tend to hide, but you'll just get it and print it out and you're ready to go. And you'll know immediately. You won't have to worry that if you don't get it on September 19th, you'll know that there's something wrong and you might need to send in your form again that they didn't receive it or something, but you will know immediately and not just think, oh, it's still traveling in the mail, it'll get to me, and find out after the deadline that no, you're not officially on the voter rolls and you've missed your chance.
What if previously you asked for your ballot by mail, regular postal mail? Can you go back and change that somehow?
Yeah, just send it in the form. Just send in the form. Again, there's a box that you check how you want to receive your ballot. Just send in a new one saying, I want to get it by email this time, and they will update. And when you send in your form to register, request your ballot, we highly recommend that you verify receipt with your election office. They're not required to tell you they got it. And if no news is not good news, you want to know for sure that they got it. And things, if it goes astray, if it goes to the wrong office, if someone accidentally files it in the trash can, no one will ever know unless you follow up. Your election office is the only one who can put you on the voter rolls and send out your ballot. You need to follow up with them. They will not follow up with you.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely we want to get our ballots by email. If you vote in a state where you can send it back by email or fax, you want to, of course, use that option. If you are using, have to mail it back, then depending on where you are, you want to use your diplomatic pouch. Is that yes or no?
And before that, if you must return it by mail, send in the backup ballot now.
Yes.
And because in some places it's taking 2 months for mail to get to the US. So we're in that 2-month period. Send in your backup ballot by mail now. And you can send it, it's just like a regular ballot. You can send it by regular mail if that's available to you. You can send it through a diplomatic pouch by your embassy if that's something that's reasonable for you to do. You can contact your local Democrats Abroad chapter to see what options they know about that are specific to your country. And you can use a courier, which is expensive, but you know it will get there.
Yes, and it's Sunday, so we have our one-to-one voter help going on today. The link for that is in the top of this post, along with the links for Vote from Abroad. If you happen to be watching this from the United States, I Will Vote is also there, and numerous other events and important things to get you voting and up and running. But the voter help is very successful. They can help you live, one-on-one. They're helping lots and lots of people today. So if you have any questions that we're not answering, please go to the voter help. I have some more questions from online. Keep the questions coming, you guys. There's a question from Susan Harrell again. Is there transparency in the whole process?
I think so, if I understand what your question is, but when you send back your ballot by mail, whether it's the fob or the official ballot, the ballot itself has no identifying information on it. It's just your vote, and it goes into a separate sealed envelope, which is then put into the mailing envelope along with all your identifying information. When it gets to the local election office, they verify your information that you're an eligible voter, and then we'll take that sealed ballot and put it in the to be counted pile, so no one knows how you personally voted. With an email or fax, you have to sign a statement saying you understand that it's not a secret ballot because you're sending the ballot open as an email attachment. But it's not like someone's reading your ballot and figuring out how you voted. What they told me they do is when they get the email or the fax, they separate the ballot from the identifying information immediately. They verify that they look at your identifying information, verify you're on the voter rolls and eligible to vote. And when they do that, the ballot, which they have not looked at, is then put in the to be counted pile with everything else and is anonymous. They just mark that you voted. They do not mark how you voted. Is that what you meant by transparency?
Well, we'll see what Susan has to say. Did we answer your question? We have another question from, I hope I'm saying this, Gaia Lynn Roslin. She wants to know, how can you track your ballot once it's been mailed to make sure it's been received?
There's a couple ways to do that. If you go to this votefromabroad.org, there's a state voting guide, which you click on and it goes to your state's page. At the bottom of that page is our links for where's my ballot, and it will take you to the state website if there is one for tracking your ballot. Some states have excellent trackers like California. If your state doesn't have a tracking website, the best thing to do is contact your local election official. That's also on that same page. There's find your election office and a drop-down menu for every county or even township. Some places have it by towns. You email them is probably best. You can also try calling and just find out what your status is. They have the most up-to-date information. They're the ones who accept your ballot, verify that it's okay, and count it. So they can tell you exactly where you are in the process.
Okay, just for your own information that we did answer Susan's question.
Okay, good.
Yeah, as far as tracking your ballot, I vote in Florida, as I said, and they have a great website where you can see the whole process, you know, even that your vote has been, whether it was counted or not. So yeah, lots of them have it. Let's see, we have some other questions from Amy Germana. Can we actually send our ballots back via FedEx or UPS?
Yes. We actually have written to the secretaries of state for the it's now 20 states that require mail ballots to verify that it's okay to use a courier. And So far, we've gotten back half all saying, yes, it's no problem. And even Texas has it on their website that a courier is fine, a common carrier. It's not a problem now, but it can be closer to the election whether they will provide a date stamp or not. You do want to get it date stamped if you can. They're not an official mailer, so they can't do a postmark, but as long as it gets there by election day, that's postmark is not an issue, and we've got plenty of time for that.
Yes, yes. If you do it early, then honestly, you'll have a lot less problems. Seriously. The key is, and okay, good. We have another question from Jackie Judelson. I hope I'm saying that right. I am not good with names. So the question is, there's a link that says vote from abroad, legitimate. Are you encountering problems with fake links? Oh, wow. That sounds terrible. Have you run into any problems like that where our links are being scammed?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Now, votefromabroad.org is an HTTPS site, so it's secure that way. .com is not us. Votefromabroad.com, don't use them. We're yes. .org because we're a nonprofit. We're .org, but I have not heard of any problems with hijacking the website or anything like that. And that would be awesome.
Yeah, well, just be sure to use votefromabroad.org, and you can always find it on one of our Facebook pages or from our website or from Instagram, our Instagram pages. But yeah, just, if it looks shady, you can just go to our Facebook page or to the website and catch it there, or just type the URL in the, directly into your browser.
Right, and there's a link to it from democratsabroad.org website as well.
Yes.
And I should point out on votefromabroad.org, if you have any questions, there's a chat desk icon on every page. It's an orange circle with kind of a smiley face, and you can type in a question and it will be emailed to our voter help desk, and we will respond to all of them.
Yes, that's true. You can always ask at the voter help desk. We have a question from Kathy Deer, and that's DEER. She says, when should I expect my ballot from Minnesota?
September 19th is when the official ballot. Now, Minnesota is a mail-only state, and there is a Senate race there this year. So unless you're not concerned, we would recommend you fill out the FWAB now, mail that in, and make sure your vote is protected in case there's mail disruptions or problems September 19th. I don't know what country you live in, but it would be a good idea because this year is a perfect storm. It's just, with the COVID restrictions, the fact that local election officials, I say LEOs as the acronym, they're working from home, they're working reduced hours, and they are being slammed by in-state voters who normally would just show up at the polls wanting to do absentee voting. And, a fourth thing is, of course, the sabotage to the U.S. Postal Service. These poor people working in election offices are going to be crazed. So make their job easier, get their stuff in early. And if you have problems, make sure, track it, make sure if there's any problems, you get it fixed early. You do not want to be the person at November 3rd at 6:30 in the evening going, no, please let me vote.
Oh my God. Oh, what a nightmare. Yes. Do not miss this election. It's too important. Our lives are at stake. Our future is at stake. Start early, figure out your plan, and really work through the plan. Don't be like me at the last day. It wasn't the last minute. I still had plenty of time, thank goodness. But, if I had chosen to send my fax at, let's say, 9 o'clock at night, because that would be 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Florida, I would have been really SOL. So everybody has to vote. And so everybody make your plan and then do a test run. How are you going to do it? Or if you're going to send it by UPS, is there a UPS place to drop it off somewhere near your home, or are you going to have to drive 50 miles, or how is it that it's going to be accomplished? And maybe that's like far-fetched. Maybe there's a UPS store at every corner in the world somewhere, but I don't think so. We have a couple of more questions. Everybody loves you, Heidi.
I love you guys too.
uh, let's see. Jackie has a question. This is a technical question. The auto sign you have to do on the form, I guess this is vote from abroad. Is there a way to attach your signature, or do you have to print out? You have to print out the form to sign it.
For most states, we had to take it off for California. If you're allowed to return your form by email, votefromabroad.org has this really cool feature where you can photograph your signature and attach it to the form online and then email it directly from the website. And that way you don't have to print out your form. It's a really cool feature. You either photograph your signature and upload it, or you sign a separate piece of paper, or if you have a signature file in a JPEG or PNG photo, you can upload that. And for most states, that's sufficient. Now, I should say that is not a digital signature. Digital signature is a term of art. No one accepts them. It is a photograph of your signature, which is exactly what you do when you do it. Print out, scan your form, and send it in as an email attachment. Some states do require you to print out your form, and it says so in the instructions. But every state allows you to email in the form, and it's a really nice feature to be able to do that without having to print it out.
Yes, it's very, very convenient. I definitely used it this year when we registered our children. We have a question from Cynthia Kaplan. She writes, I filled out a vote from abroad registration form, but have not received my ballot from Florida. Can I call them, Dade County in parentheses, to make sure that I'm registered?
Yeah, I would definitely, you're not going to get your ballot yet. Ballots for the November 3rd election do not come out until September 19th. But Florida has an excellent website for checking your voter registration. If you go to votefromabroad.org and click on the state voting guide, you put in Florida and it takes you. And you can either use the website, that there's a link on that page, or find the Dade County elections office on the drop-down menu for the election office and just email them. Give them an email or give them a call and just make sure that they got your form and you are going to receive your ballot. If there's a problem, if they didn't get it, you've still got plenty of time to fix the problem. So it's important to double check now.
Yes, yes, for sure. You can find this out online in Florida. And if you can't, then yeah, then you go ahead and call. Leave nothing to chance. Or you can always send them an email and ask them too. That's not an impossibility, just to call your local election office or email them and say, hey, did you get my request for a ballot? Maybe they did and somebody forgot to log it in or something, they're kind of going crazy too. Remember that in the United States, they have a major COVID outbreak and people are getting sick and not coming to work and all sorts of things. So, that's why we need to do this stuff as early as possible. If you haven't requested your ballot, please go ahead and request your ballot as soon as possible.
Do it now. You can request your ballot every year, January 1st on, and our advice is always just do it January 2nd, get it done, and you're covered for the full year. But there's still time, plenty of time. Get it in now.
Yes, there's still time to do it now. There's still time to do it after ballot day on September 19th. when's do you know the first state that cuts off, like their cutoff date by any chance? Or is that?
Um, Off the top of my head, if you want to get your ballot sent to you by mail from New Jersey, October 4th is your cutoff date. Um, but a lot of, so October 4th, October 5th are the earliest cutoff dates to register to vote. A lot of states have a later deadline for requesting a ballot if you're already a registered voter. So that helps. But, and some states, a lot of the states, the deadline to register is around like October 13th. That seems to be a popular date. So we definitely still have time. You can still register to vote. Most states will let you register to vote of sending in the form by email. But there are a few states that want that form mailed in if you're registering to vote. So again, get it in now because we don't know what the mails are going to be looking like, and you don't want to miss the deadline because the mail took forever to get your form in.
Yes, yes. Whatever it is you're going to do, please do it soon, please.
And we're here to help you. We've got tons of people who want to help and can lead you through the process. You are not alone.
Yes, that's right. Whatever your problem is, whatever your issue, there is someone that can help you find a workaround or a solution to your problem. You can use the one-on-one voter help, which is available every Sunday for 24 hours. You can use the little bubble on Vote from Abroad, little help bubble that's there. You can email GOTV at democratsabroad.org. You can message your country Facebook page or this Facebook page or any of our Facebook pages, and someone will answer the question. We're here to help you. That's our main job. We want you to be able to vote. This is a very important month for voting. And I mean, we have the woman's 100th year Centennial. We've had the 55th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was this year. And coming up on Friday is the 57th anniversary of the March on Washington. And we'll actually be having a discussion with a panel of people on that day at about, I think, 2 o'clock. If you want to join us, and about voting rights, the progress that we've made, and we want to make more progress. And the only way that we're going to make more progress is if we can get more people to vote and vote for progressive measures. So, do you have anything else you'd like to add, Heidi?
No, you said it all. Vote, do it now. It's not difficult. There is a lot of misinformation because when you're voting from abroad, the rules are different for us. They're actually a bit streamlined. And a lot of what you hear about what's going on in the States doesn't apply to us. So it can relieve your mind, like a lot of the voter ID stuff. And that sort of thing. And the fact that we can return ballots electronically in half of the states really relieves the whole postal burden as well. But each state has its own little quirks and its own little rules, and we are happy to help you make sure you can vote. If you have kids or other family members, we can help you with those rules. And just don't wait.
Yes, please don't wait. Oh, wait, let me just make sure that I see a question. Oh, that's a question about participating in the census. Yes, we can't get counted abroad. But be sure to tell your family and friends to take the census. It's really important. Yeah, if you don't, yeah, be sure to tell them to do that because everybody deserves to be counted. Let me, I've got one more. What is this? Please tell people that, oh, please tell people that you can join DA and also to keep up to date with this stuff and more. All right, yes, please join Democrats Abroad if you haven't already joined. I don't know what you're waiting for. Like it's free. It's free, and the least we're not like the DNC that's constantly sending you emails that are like, we need your money. We're sending you emails that give you information about voting, about things you can do to get out the vote, about our events and other things. So yeah, please go to democratsabroad.org/join. Don't delay. Same thing with voting. There's no reason to wait.
And you can
We're,
actually join through votefromabroad.org.
that's right.
If as you go through the form at the very end, it will ask, and unless you indicate you're a Republican, then we won't bother asking you. But if you indicate you're a Democrat or no party, you have the option to join Democrats Abroad if you wish, not required, but it's just an easier way to do that. And there's also a box to check if you would like voter information sent to you, whether or not you become a member of Democrats Abroad. But and you can also, by joining Democrats Abroad, learn about volunteer opportunities if you want to help get out the vote yourself. We are doing massive phone banking campaigns right now to get out the word to people about mailing back the swab if they're in a mail back state. We'll also be contacting voters in electronic return states. We're trying to reach every member. So we'll be doing that throughout August and September and into October. We're also doing the voter registration assistance trainings. You too can be the person on Sunday answering the live calls if you would like, or within your country helping people who need help, learn more about it. We always need volunteers, and we have lots for you to do.
Yes, there is always a lot to do because everyone in Democrats Abroad is a volunteer.
Yes.
Each and every one of us. None of us are paid to do this. So
you couldn't afford me.
No, actually, you couldn't afford me either. But that's not for half the stuff that we do.
No.
One last thing I just want to add, I dropped a link in the chat, and we're trying to do voter outreach to Americans in Africa, and we're having an event for them on this Thursday. So we have members that reside in Africa, but we no longer have any country committees for one reason or another. You know, people move, things happen. So we really want to get there 100,000 Americans in Africa. And I've dropped a link in the chat for the event. So if you know people in Africa, Americans in Africa, or if you even just know people who are African that are living there, share this event with them and ask them to share it with their American friends, or if they know it. We're going to have to do this a little bit of word of mouth in order to get maximum participation. So that would be great if everybody could do that. Just share this event. We're having 6 ambassadors from ambassadors from Biden Speak, who have all been ambassadors from Africa, and a few other people. And it should be an interesting event on Thursday evening, 7 p.m. CET time.
Oh, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And actually what you're saying, forget out the vote. The most important thing you can do is first get out your own vote. Make sure you're registered, make sure you return your ballot. And then spread the word to your family, your friends, and hopefully that multiplies through social media. To every U.S. citizen, make sure they know they can vote. Every U.S. citizen living abroad can vote. That they can vote, and to go to votefromabroad.org to fill out their forms. Spread the word. Those are the 2 most important things you can do to get out the vote right now.
Spread the word, 100%. You have to spread the word. I'm going to share another event. It's an event that's in Morocco. I see that someone from Morocco tried to share this event, but I'm going to share it here. Democrats Abroad Morocco celebrates the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage, and that is on Wednesday. So please, if you know people in Morocco, share that too. But everybody, just like Muhammad said in Dubai, just get out the vote. That's right. Tell everybody, tell two friends, make sure your kids are done, are registered and have their ballot requested. Make sure your friends and family in the States, ask them to check their voter registration. You know, everybody has to do their part, and we hope that you'll do yours because it's really important for us to win. And with that, I think we've been on here long enough. Maybe we'll have to have Heidi back next month. You know, the closer we get to the election, people will have more questions or whatever. And because it seemed like we've had a lot of questions. Okay, it's Tuesday, not Wednesday. Sorry. Every day is the same for me as long as I'm a floating head on the screen. So they're all the same. Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Friday, it could be the same day. Seriously, it's just a lot of stuff to do. And luckily, there's a lot of nice people that I get to work with all the time, like Heidi and all the people watching. So
I forgot one more thing. We've started a new program on votefromabroad.org. It's open to anybody. You don't have to be a member of Democrats Abroad. It's called the Voting Champions Program. If you want to help spread the word and get out the vote among US citizens, there's a program where you can join, and they provide you with things to do and tasks to accomplish so that you can make sure you're voting and make sure that your friends and family know about voting, and you can help get those votes in the bucket.
Yes.
So,
Voting Champions is also, if you look at the top of this post, in the heading of the post, there's a whole bunch of links, but the VFA Voting Champions is also there. So everything you need to vote from abroad, you've got the Voting Champions, you can join DA, you can join one of our wonderful caucuses, you can donate, you can volunteer. It's all up at the top of this post. So just go there, click, do everything, but mostly vote and request your ballot, and please send it back on time.
Yes.
But we won't let you forget. We won't let you forget. So everybody have a great Sunday, and we will see you, I think tomorrow, when we're going to be talking with our voter protection team. So
all right.
All right, everybody.
Thank you so much, Angela.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Thanks, and have a good evening, good day, or good night, everybody. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.